beware. Beware. This is a warning. The Grim Reaper of radio, Bob Romanik, with his off-the-record show is about to air. He's probably the nastiest and craziest son of a bitch that you've ever had the misfortune to encounter. The Grim Reaper show will be very controversial and probably quite tasteless. If you are even slightly offended by controversial matter concerning religion, racial matters, politics, or life's problems, you are hereby warned to turn this program off immediately. The Grim Reaper show will be, like his face, very scary and very ugly. At this time, not proudly, but shamefully presents to you Bob Romanik, the craziest son of a bitch on the radio today.
This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane broadcasting, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio, and we are, as always, proud, very, very proud to be the Patriot. Good Monday morning. It's Monday, and I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Why should I give a damn on Monday? People, elections coming up. And I want to apologize. I don't mind talking elections. We all like to talk about politicians. But this crap is just out of hand. We had the big primary fight for the Republicans. People are so tired of hearing about politicians. And I got to say, including me, because I thought I was a no-good son of a bitch. But then I put my hat in the ring. And now I think I'm even a worse no-good son of a bitch, because I can't believe these political bastards on both sides. You heard me, and I want to tell you, think about it. They push you one direction, Democrat. They push you one direction, Republican. Don't let these ass-white bastards on both sides of the fence, on both sides of the aisle, don't let them push you anywhere. You understand me? Now, you got to be a Democrat. You got to be a Republican. No, you got to be yourself. You got to vote for the person, not the party. You got to vote for the person that you think's going to do a good job, not because he's got a D behind his name or an R behind his name. Are you crazy? These rotten bastards, it's a 5% of the Democratic organization. It's the 5% of the Republican organization that tries to unite you good people during election time. But then they'll divide you right after the election, both Democrats and Republicans. There's enough ass-wiping to go around for both political parties. As you know, I'm the Republican candidate for state representative, but let me tell you people what I am not. You hear me? I'm not the Republican candidate. I'm the candidate of the people of the 114th Legislative District, Democrat, Republican, Independent, men, women, black and white. Don't give a damn about the Republicans. Don't give a damn about the Democratic organization. I give a damn about the people who are going to send me to Springfield. I said it yesterday. I may be totally against something in Springfield. And I'll get on the House floor and I'll say, hey, I'm personally totally against it. But, you hear me? But my people, my bosses in the 114th Legislative District demand, tell me, instruct me to vote their way. I'm voting their way. I may not like it, but I don't represent me in Springfield. I'll be representing the good people of the 114th Legislative District. Now, that may piss off some mainstream Republicans or mainstream Democrats. But you know what I have to say to that? Kiss my white, hairy, stinky, wrinkled ass. I'm not going to kiss your ass, and I'm not going to cut your grass for a vote. Maybe that hurts me, but I don't care. I have to tell you the way I feel. I'm not going to follow Rauner's lead up there in Springfield. I think he's screwed up more than enough. I'm not going to follow Madigan's lead. I think he screwed up more than enough. So that means I'm not going to take any of the political leaders' lead. I'm going to be led by the people of the 114th Legislative District. That's what every public servant ought to do. Ought to be led by the people that send them to Springfield, the people that send them to the city halls, the people that send them to Washington, D.C. But they all get in that good old boys club Going to put you on a committee, put you here, give you more money. I'm not taking a penny from you good people of the state of Illinois. I don't need it. I'm fortunate enough. I've worked hard. I'm not taking a salary, benefits, pension. And I'm going to demand that every state representative, every state senator vote to have their salary cut in half. Vote to not to have a pension. Why the hell should a part-time position get a $60,000, $80,000 a year pension at the end of the day? It's unbelievable, people. They don't want to tell you that. And I got to say, and again, you guys know, I've had Charlie Myers on here several times, and maybe it's not politically correct, and I like Charlie Myers. I think he's a great guy. I hope he's a friend, maybe not after this. Sergeant Gary Vasquez, Green Beret Memorial Highway. I sincerely appreciate if you help push that, but I'd like to ask, why do we, if I'm elected, why do we as politicians have the right to say what a who's the street's named after, who a building, who a bridge? But I see Charlie, or Gary Vasquez's brother, Barry Duskhark, I guess that's his name. But guess who's in the picture? Our good buddy Charlie Myers. And I like Charlie. But that just proves the point. Why do we as politicians have to get involved? Where's a picture of the whole family? Where's a picture of the grieving family? If I want to see a picture, I want to see a picture of the family. If there's going to be any recognition, I want it to be for the family of the fallen hero. Not taking anything away against Charlie Myers, because he's done a great job in his representative district. But see, I would be a hypocrite if I didn't address this. And even though it may sound bad for Charlie, I know Charlie's heart was in the right place. But I don't care. We as politicians should never take our interest over the interests of the people. I know that's hard to understand because it never happens in politics, but Sergeant Gary Vasquez, Green Beret Memorial Highway, and I want to salute Sergeant Vasquez for his service to our great country. And the Highland American Legion Post 439, I want to salute them for getting involved in this. Now, if I see a highway, a building, a bridge named after someone, I think my money's been well spent if it's named after a military hero or a first responder hero. That just caught my eye, and I thought, you know, what the hell? Let's keep politics out of this serious crap. Okay, probably get fined again for this, but I don't give a damn. Man gets probation. You understand me, people? Listen to me in Edwardsville. And we just came from Edwardsville Friday, and we'll talk about the proud veteran who Alan Dunstan, that asswipe, no-count Madison County Board Chairman, won't let this veteran in his office at the courthouse because he had a little situation that was caused not by him, it was caused by us Americans, asking him to serve our great country, asking him to protect us. And after he did, he comes down with a disorder. So let's just throw him to the curb, people. No, he's got that disorder because we asked him to serve, and he served bravely and valiantly. So I think we're partially responsible. These politicians don't give a damn. What did you serve, Dunstan? Nothing but probably serve up steak and lobster and caviar to your family. You didn't get the political trough all these years, you stupid son of a bitch. You pissed me off. And we were there Friday. I want to thank all the veterans. What a great response. They're starting a group, Veterans for Bob Romanik. And I was humbled by that. And I said, guys, you don't have to do that. But they did say, Bob, you've helped us out. It's time for us to help you. And I said, no, I can never repay you guys for what you've done to let me live and talk free. Because of them, I'm not sitting in jail now, because in any other country, I'd be in jail. But because of them, I'm protected. But anyway, this asswipe judge, Neil Schroeder, associate judge, put a sentence on Richard M. Krieb, 32. Now, here's his address. Nothing violent, of course. You may just want to drive by and flip him off. The 300 block of Spring Street in Alton. Pled guilty to 1 count of aggravated cruelty to an animal. This no good son of a bitch, you know what he did? That Krieb left a 4-inch by 8-inch cut in a dog's throat. The dog did survive, though. Creed committed this cold-blooded act. And his attorney, Joe Brown of Edwardsville, argued that his client was not trying to hurt the dog. Well, you got to be the stupidest attorney in the world. He slit the dog's throat, let him die on the Mississippi, left him to die on the Mississippi River, and you're saying, you stupid son of a bitch, you stupid idiot attorney, that his client was not out to hurt the dog? What the hell was he doing, you dumbass? He said Creed slit the dog's throat because the animal attacked the defendant's young son. Hey, Mike Boss, Congressman Boss, that sounds like a situation that you're familiar with. Remember when you shot the dog, killed that dog laying there because you said he attacked your lovely daughter? And I know she's a lovely lady. That you go back to this person's house while the dog's laying there? You know, these are animals, people. We got to give them a break sometime. They don't think like we do, and I'll be damned, I'm glad they don't, because if they're violent, we're really violent. I wish more people thought like animals and animals thought like people. But, boss, you can identify with that. And if you got a problem, boss, give me a call, because every day I've got a bigger problem with you. You know what, boss, let me tell you. You go to Washington, you promise to serve the people of the 12th Congressional District. I've talked to people in Murfreesboro, in Carbondale, in Marion, in Mount Vernon, in Belleville. You've done nothing but play footsies with the Republicans. You've done nothing but take their money because every 2 years you got to get elected. People, you got to understand, we have to take back this great country. But anyway, this gentleman, this asswipe, no good for nothing son of a bitch, left this dog on the Alton, Mississippi River levee to die. Cut this dog's throat. Now, I got to say, I hate a son of a bitch that hates animals, but if you're so vulgar, so violent that you want to kill something, kill it. Don't torture it. This guy didn't kill, just try to kill the animal, try to torture it. I mean, at least I got to say, boss, you popped the dog probably in the head. I mean, he was gone. He was out of there. And you were totally wrong to do it. But at least you didn't pick off one arm at a time, one leg at a time, cut off his tail and cut off his head. But this rotten asswipe bastard, Richard M. Creed of the 300 block, hear me, people of Spring Street in Alton, I just hope Richard Creed, and he gets probation, people. Now, Creed's daddy, Richard Creed of Granite City, testified that he, too, is an alcoholic. What the hell does that have to do with anything? I guess every alcoholic is going to slit a dog's throat. If you slit a dog's throat and let them get away with it, they're going to slit a child's throat. They're going to slit mine and your throat. But no good, no good. So the only one that I think is as bad as the guy that slit the dog's throat is the Associate Judge Neil Schroeder for not giving him 20 years. I promise you, if I get elected state representative, part of my legislation will be 20 years for animal cruelty, 50 years for child abuse. Oh, that's too much. No, that's not enough, people. We got to make believers out of these asswipe bastards. Slit that poor dog's throat and let him bleed out. Do you understand me, people? And you know I'm nuts, but I'm not quite this bad. But it just really, really pisses me off. We are the home, the new home of the Chicago Bears. We'll be broadcasting on KQQZ 1190 AM. We're also the home of the Fighting Illini football right here on KQQZ 1190 AM. So you guys stick around. Going to have a great sports season. With me a little bit later on his way in is Mr. Ray Coleman. He's a governmental consultant for Washington Park, and we want to talk about this situation in Belleville where they're accusing the mayor, I think unrightfully so, Mayor Rogers, getting out some information about Social Security numbers. And that's just a big ploy. I got to tell you people, see, you don't know the underbelly of politics. Everybody that's against Kern and Sprague and Bear Civic, and we are at the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition, they're trying to indict this guy. They took Mayor Rogers, tried to strip her of all her powers. They give this asswipe Ricky Thomas the chairmanship out there when she's the mayor because she wouldn't kiss Sprague's ass. See, I think the people of St. Clair County are getting tired of having to kiss somebody's ass to get what they rightfully deserve. So we'll be talking to Ray Coleman momentarily. Also, Mr. Roger Cook will be coming in. I don't know what the hell he wants to talk about, but he's always informative. He's always interesting. Sometimes he's a little boring because too nice a guy, but that's okay. Hey, we'll take a little bit of that. Let's take care of my housekeeping, and then we're going to move on. Lines are always open. You can call toll free 1-888-394-1430. On the east side, 394-1190. We are America's voice of freedom. Definitely the Patriot. Coming up Saturday, September the 10th, starting at 2 p.m. at the New Memphis station, having their Customers Appreciation Hog Roast. They're going to be live music, says bring a chair. Going to be a great time. That's at the New Memphis station on Saturday, September the 10th. Our good friend, our great friend, a great leader in the Freeburg area, Mr. Frank August-29, he's having his tax meeting on Wednesday, August the 31st at the Freeburg Library. It'll start at 1:30 p.m. And for all you people, you don't have to be a member. Frank invites everybody from St. Clair County out. Mr. August-29 gives you all the information. It's hard-hitting. It's very informative, and he'll give you information that you can't get anywhere else. And that's the tax meeting coming up Wednesday, August the 31st at the Freeburg Library. I want to put a belated 50th wedding anniversary. My good friend, former Clinton County Board Chairman Ray Kluckner and his beautiful wife, Joan. They're celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary last week, and I guess they're going to celebrate all throughout the year. Ray and Joan, they've got 4 grown children, 6 grandchildren, and I want to say, Ray Kluckner, what a great guy, what a great job you did for the good people of Clinton County, and I hope you and your lovely bride, Joan, have another 50 years of wedding bliss. And again, thank you very much, Ray. The Millstock Community Blood Drive coming up Thursday, September the 8th, 4 to 8 p.m. at the Millstock Consolidated School, the multi-purpose room located at 211 West Mill Street in Millstock. If you have any questions or concerns, you can contact Marge at 401-5122. Every last Saturday of the month from 7 to 11 a.m., all-you-can-eat breakfast at the Overland Occidental Lodge, number 623 AF and AM, located at 10770 Page Boulevard in Overland, Missouri. Don't forget, you can pick me up on iTunes. Type in Bob Romanik and or the Grim Reaper of Radio. Go to our streaming site, insanebroadcasting.com. One word, common spelling, for the best of all 3 of our great radio stations. You can listen to my repeat performance every day, Monday through Friday at 4 o'clock p.m. and now broadcasting from the graveyard to the graveyard shift every night at the stroke of midnight. Please like us on Facebook, KQQZ 1190 AM or KZQZ 1430 AM. You can go to my personal Facebook page, Fans of the Grim Reaper, or Bob Romanik for State Representative. And as always, don't forget the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition on Facebook. And for all you people that want to get your ears hurt, our podcasts are up. My podcast director had been on vacation for the last 2 weeks, so people were calling about my podcast. They're all back up, so if anybody wants to get any shows from the past, they're all archived. Thank you guys very much for the consideration also. Nancy Rosh, her birthday was on August the 26th. A belated happy birthday to Nancy Rosh and her, I would say, lovely husband, but I don't know how lovely he is, Jerry Rosh, a good friend of mine, a good friend of the people in the Mascoutah area. So a belated birthday wish to you, Nancy Rosh, and all the good people in Mascoutah. Keep up the good work. We appreciate your friendship and your support. On this date, August the 29th, 1885, Gobbler Daimler received a German patent for a motorcycle. That's a hell of a name. I thought my name was bad. On this date, August the 29th, 1904, the 3rd Modern Olympic Games opened in St. Louis. On this date, August the 29th, 1916, Congress created the United States Naval Reserve. On this date, August the 29th, 1958, the Air Force Academy opened. On this date, a sad date for all you Beatle fans, August the 29th, 1966, the last official Beatles concert was held at Candlestick Park in San Francisco. On this date, August the 29th, 1977, 3 people were arrested by police in Memphis and charged with attempting to steal the body of Elvis Presley, buried at the Forest Hill Cemeteries. On this date, August the 29th, 2005, Hurricane Katrina hit the coast of Mississippi and Louisiana. That's what happened on this date. August the 29th, throughout all these years in our world's history. I want to say hi to Philip and Kathy Wilson. Met them in Grafton this weekend. Great people. He's a vet from the VFW Post 4105 in Florissant. So I want to thank you, good people. And I met Clyde Jackson. He's a retired military, a hero. Him and his brother from Jerseyville. His brother, Glenn Jackson, was a World War II Derby Ranger. He's, I believe, 91 years old, received the Purple Heart and Silver Star. So Glenn and Clyde Jackson, thank you guys very much for listening. And also Eric Williams. Eric's a retired carpenter from SIU Edwardsville. Him and all the guys listen. So Eric and all the guys, thank you guys very, very much. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We got Mr. Ray Coleman coming through the door. Roger Cook will be here. Lines are always open. Toll free, 1-888-394-1430. On the east side, 394-1190. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM, insane broadcasting at its finest, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio, and we are, as always, proud, very, very proud to be the Patriot. This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM, insane broadcasting, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio, and we are, as always, very, very proud to be the Patriot. Before we get going with our guests, Saturday night, the greatest fireworks display I've seen in a long time was presented in Caseyville, Illinois, and I talked with a lot of people out there, and they wanted to thank Mayor Black and everyone in Caseyville for putting that on. And I spoke with Mayor Black briefly, and he said he'd like to thank everyone who participated to make that such a great event. They had great fireworks. They had a picnic out in Caseyville. That's what these small towns need to do. They need to get back to public service instead of politics. Everybody wants to play politics. Let's start being public servants. And I also want to thank the Caseyville VFW for their great participation. They had some military equipment out there, and the mayor said they had a great time. And also, the 100-mile-an-hour motorcycle club in Caseyville were barbecuing out there for the good people of Caseyville. So a great time for everybody in Caseyville, Mayor Black and everybody out there. Thanks for your friendship. Thanks for your support, and keep up the good work. With me, a friend of mine who we've fought politically back and forth because we believe in America. We believe everybody has the right to their opinion. Mr. Ray Coleman, he's the governmental consultant for the Village of Washington Park. He's an independent consultant. He'll consult anybody. Very, very knowledgeable when it comes to political purposes. Not the best looking guy in town now by any means. That's why I've got him on radio instead of a TV show. But Mr. Ray Coleman, Ray, how the hell you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing great, Bob. And anytime I can look worse than you, that's not bad.
Well, I don't know if I'll take that as a compliment or not. Hey, Ray, last year, we want to talk about Ann Rogers, but before we do, and I think she's done a great job as the mayor of Washington Park, even though you got Chili Pepper Ferris Williams and that other stupid son of a bitch. What's the hell? Well, I won't let you give his name.
Ricky Thomas?
I'm talking about Ricky Thomas. See, people, they will not let these public servants in these small towns. You get these politicians, and see, Bob Sprague sent Ricky Thomas down, sent Chili Pepper Ferris Williams down. They're trying to disrupt Washington Park, and you good people of Washington Park, they're going to destroy you because you're not kissing Sprague and Kern and Bear Civic's ass, and they will tell you guys it's going to get better. Kern's been there 12 years. Bear Civic's been there 35 years. Sprague's been there 35 years. It's not going to get better for you good people all throughout St. Clair County. But before we play politics, Ray, they used to have the City of Champions game. There were 3 games played at Clyde Jordan Memorial Stadium behind Eastside. They're having it this Saturday. They've changed the name, and can you give us a little bit? Because you were a great coach at Eastside. Now you tell me you were a good athlete. I know you're a good coach. I can confirm that. I can't confirm the latter, but they've got a new name, but it's still the same great football, right?
That's right. But, Bob, you got it backwards. I was a great athlete and good coach.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
But the Border War is what they're calling it. It's the Gateway Scholars Football Classic, and it's to be held on September 3rd at Clyde Jordan Stadium in East St. Louis. The first game is going to start at 1 o'clock. It pits Cahokia versus St. Louis Sumner. And then at 4 o'clock, we have Altoff versus Jefferson City Helios at 4 p.m. And the finale is East St. Louis versus Christian Brothers College, better known as CBC. And I guess at halftime of that game, Bob Shannon, legendary East St. Louis Flyers and CBC coach Bob Shannon will be honored. And I think that's a classy move on the part of East St. Louis Senior High School. Yeah,
I believe that. Bob Shannon, what a great coach for East St. Louis. And, I'm a graduate of East St. Louis of 67, and still a great town, still a great area. And I think, Ray, with your help, with Ann Rogers' help, with the people of St. Clair County's help, when Roger Cook gets elected county board chairman, I think you're going to see a rude awakening for the politicians in St. Clair County. And I think the good people of East St. Louis, and I always say how East St. Louis goes is how this whole county goes. I'm committed as a state representative. That's my district. Roger Cook is committed. It will be committed as a new county board chairman. We're going to come down to East St. Louis. We're going to help with the development because I want to go back to East St. Louis where I come from. I want to go to a good show. I want to go to a good restaurant. And don't you think, Ray, you've been around a long time, if these asswipe bastard Democratic son of a bitches like Bear Civic, like Kern, like Sprague, how the hell, and I know you can't speak for them, and I'm going to ask you rhetorically, the good people of East St. Louis, I know they're intelligent people, but I know they're desperate people because these Democratic politicians have kept them in the desperation mode. Do those good people in East St. Louis, Washington Park, Allerton, Centerville, Cahokia, do they honestly think that things are going to get better if Kern gets reelected?
Well, like you said, I can't speak for people I haven't talked to, but being a resident of East St. Louis, born and raised in East St. Louis, and being one who worked against Mark Kern in 2004 when he ran against Steve Reed, I don't think that any serious-minded and average person thinks that Mark Kern is now going to do a great job. He hasn't in the time that he's been in office. And quite frankly, a lot of us are tired of the Democratic leadership in St. Clair County taking the African-American vote for granted. And I'd like to also add that everything about the Democratic Party is not all right, and everything about the Republican Party is not all wrong. Because I can definitely tell you that Steve Reed would have been a better county board chairman than Mark Kern, and I definitely feel that Roger Cook will be a better county board chairman than Mark Kern. If you go back to the time that Roger Cook was the mayor and Mark Kern was the alderman, it was Roger Cook who was famously in the media, in the newspaper, working along with the U.S. Justice Department to make life better for all the residents of St. Clair County. It was Mark Kern who was against the residential rule that was going to allow the city of Belleville to have more diversity among his city staff.
Yeah. You talk about Kern. I think Miss Piggy would have been a better county board chairman than Kern. But let's get back to this local side. It was in the paper. Leaked private details made public in St. Clair County politics. Now, I got to think, Ray, and everybody in St. Clair County that's become part of or associated with the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition, we've been exposing these son of a bitches for the last 3 or 4 years. These politicians in Belleville, they're trying to get everybody indicted. They're trying to make everybody look bad. They've tried to take the power from Ann Rogers and give it to Ricky Thomas. They've taken, and people, you don't understand all the underbelly of politics, but they've taken all the election officials, and they've switched them around. So Mayor Rogers and nobody on her side knows what's going on. And this is just another grab, a political grab, a corrupt political grab by Kern, by Barrecivic, by Sprague. And then you get this asswipe Tom Holbrook. He's really concerned. It's like he's trying to chastise Mayor Rogers. And, hey, Holbrook, you have no room to chastise anybody, you no-good bastard. And let me tell you, fat-ass son of a bitch, you're not going to let this election be stolen like you have it stolen every 4 years. People of St. Clair County, you better understand, when they steal a vote from a candidate, they're stealing your vote. But, Ray, Ann Rogers has done a good job because this is my words, not yours or Mayor Rogers, she hasn't kissed Sprague and Barrecivic and Kern's ass. And so they're going to penalize her. And now they've disrupted everything in Washington Park, and they want to flip the script and say it's her fault.
Well, Bob, minus the inflamed rhetoric, I want to say that Mayor Rogers lost her 3 election judges, and it came as quite a surprise to her because, Mayor Rogers has always been about fair elections. There have been no complaints of any voting irregularities in her precinct since she's been the precinct committee person. So she was quite shocked that Bob Sprague, even though I read the Beverly News Democrat article, and I think it was a fair and balanced article as far as the different players getting an opportunity to respond. But when I look at the 3 judges who Bob Sprague allowed Ricky Thomas, that's what happened. He allowed Ricky Thomas to replace her 3 judges. And they're not really understanding really what's going on. Emma Barnes, Lawrence Alls, I guess that's his name, and Princess Blanchard, they're blaming the mayor for putting their Social Security numbers out in the public, and she has no motive, nothing that she could gain by doing that. She simply received the document from the county clerk's office, and she shared it with her trustees. Now, I would have advised her to just keep it, to herself, but it's no law against sharing that document. And Ricky Thomas stated in the article that the mayor should have kept the politics of the precinct separate from the government business, but the governments routinely share documents like that. And so there was nothing wrong with what she did. And when you look at Ricky's comments, and he's injecting security identity theft. That's the clerk. Yeah. The clerk is the record keeper for the Village of Washington Park. Why would he make an allegation like that? That's against his own government entity.
Ray, I got to say, if it hadn't been for Kern, Sprague, and Barrecivic, these asswipe Democratic culture corruption son of a bitches, if it hadn't been for them wanting to switch these election judges, I don't understand. I mean, nobody can say why, and nobody can answer why they switched them, but you know why they switched them. I know why they switched them. They wanted to put their people in there.
Well, I can tell you, Bob, I don't mean to cut you off, but I can tell you what Ricky Thomas is saying out in the street. He's saying that if anybody gets in trouble in Washington Park because of his relationship with Sprague and Kern, he can get them out of trouble.
Yeah, well, I've heard that.
He's their guy.
Yeah.
But that's a slap in the face to me if you're walking around the African-American community as if everybody is getting in trouble.
Yeah.
So he has no plan for Washington Park other than, we're going to steal the election. Yeah. That's Ricky Thomas's goal for victory, to take the election, not have fair elections.
I like this Holbrook. What a piece of crap, the St. Clair County clerk. As a public official, we all have to be more cautious in handling very private and personal matters, and everyone, especially non-elected officials, identity theft is one of the most devastating and fastest spreading crimes today. They're going to make a mountain out of a molehill. It's I got you moment, and then this asswipe bastard Holbrook. And Holbrook, you're not going to steal the election. We still want to know about the election process that you wouldn't tell us, and if we have to sue you, we're going to sue your fat, stinky ass. But it says Holbrook said whoever leaked the information was completely out of line and violated public trust. You son of a bitch, when you put your greasy drawers on, those crappy drawers you put on Every day you violate the public's trust, you no good fat-ass bastard. This sumbitch is getting $135,000 a year of our money, people. Is the next state representative part-time position. $135,000 a year we're paying them. And it said, what is an election, a judge? And at the bottom, they're there to make sure there's a fair and impartial election. Are you crazy? There's never, in the last 50 years under this democratic culture of corruption, never been a fair and impartial election. And there's not going to be one this year, people, unless we stand together. Men, women, black, white, Democrats, and Republicans, and demand there be a fair and impartial election. And I'm asking you, Rauner, you can drive all around this state. We need some help down here. We need some help. Not only financial help for the good people of St. Clair County, but we need some law enforcement help so this election's not stolen. And Mike Bost, we need your help. I don't give a damn you're a Democrat, Republican. We need the help. The people of St. Clair County, the people of St. Clair County have suffered enough. Ray Coleman, I tell you, don't you, and you've been in politics a long time, doesn't it piss you off whenever they try to okey-fadoke people, when they lie to people, and in people actually, and I got to say, I'm going to piss some people off. They're going to believe what Kern and Bear Civic and Sprague and Ricky Thomas and Chili Pepper Ferris Williams, they're going to believe what these asswipe bastards say. But when they do, right after the election, what they say never gets accomplished, does it?
Well, I have to agree with you. But I'm going to say this, Bob. The voters are much smarter than they're being given credit for in the underserved communities. We just have to have leaders who are willing to speak the truth to power, willing to call it like they see it. And this leadership, the leadership of the St. Clair Democratic Party is the problem. There are some good Democrats who want to do the right thing. But when you have Bob Sprague, when it's time to make a major decision, like who's going to be your opponent in the 114th legislative district, where he just called a couple people and got their approval, then he made the decision with them and then called everybody else in, and now the decision has been made.
Right.
We need a two-party system, and we need both of these parties to, get involved with the rank and file and just give the people good choices, man.
Well, we're going to give them good choices because after the break, and we've got to take a quick break, we're coming back. Our candidate, the people's candidate for St. Clair County Board Chairman, Mr. Roger Cook. He proved his leadership when he was the mayor of Belleville, and hopefully the good people of St. Clair County will let him to continue his professional leadership, his fair and impartial professional leadership as your new county board chairman. We'll be back right after this break. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane broadcasting, America's by-state voice of freedom, radical radio, and we are, as always, proud, very, very proud to be the Patriot. This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane broadcasting, America's by-state voice of freedom, your guardian of the First Amendment, radical radio, and we are, as always, proud, very, very proud to be the Patriot. With me, my guest, Ray Coleman, the governmental consultant for the great village of Washington Park. And Ray, we've got Roger Cook in here, but before we address Roger's situation, whatever he's got on his mind today, it's been alleged, of course, that Ricky Thomas, the village clerk, there's 12 or 14 affidavits that say he doesn't even live in town. And I'd have to ask Ricky Thomas, if you don't live in town, why are you confusing everything? Same way with Chili Pepper, Ferris Williams. They live here off Freedom Drive in Belleville. What are they doing down there, Ray?
Well, they are sticking their nose in Washington Park politics, and I can't answer why when they don't live there. It's one thing to get involved as an appointed official where your residency is not required, but to be an elected official like Ricky Thomas is a clerk who doesn't live there, and not only are there residents who say that, who signed statements saying that he doesn't live there, but one of the neighbors across the street actually had a surveillance camera pointed to his house for like 27 days. And I'm not telling you something that I heard. I'm telling you something that I know, that evidence is there. But just like the Belleville News Democrat did the story on these so-called identity theft issues, they have not touched this issue with Ricky Thomas, and I understand that there are a few people who are going to go to the editor and ask them why. Yeah,
well, we're gonna stay on top of all that. So, Ray, you keep us informed. Thank you very much for all your valuable information. And now, Mr. Roger Cook, the co-chairman of the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition, and you hear me, the people's, not the Democratic candidate, not the Republican candidate, but the people's candidate for St. Clair County Board Chairman, Mr. Roger Cook. Roger, how the hell you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing great, Bob. How was your weekend?
Hey, weekend was great. We were out. They tell me you were all out in St. Clair County. You're getting a great response, I think, for two reasons, Roger. To me, you're a great candidate and you're a friend, but more than that, Mark Kern cannot look anybody in the eye and say what he's done the last 12 years and say what he's going to do the next 4 years. They're ducking everybody. All he's going to do is put billboards up, and I know he's going to outspend you, Roger, but I don't think this election, I think it's disrespectful to spend so much money you think you can buy your vote. I think the good people of St. Clair County understand this rich, no-good son of a bitch, and I don't think all the money in the world's going to win him this election come November the 8th.
Bob, I was listening to you as I was coming in. I appreciate the words, your words and Ray's words in regards to my candidacy. You know, we've worked awful hard to create a path to victory for our ticket. We have, through the Freedom Coalition, built relationships. We built relationships on the truth, and our whole goal is to bring honest, open government back to we the people, all the people. You know, as you talk about the article in the paper recently on Front Street, great things could happen down there, but they haven't happened for how long, Bob? Yeah. How long? You're from East St. Louis originally. Ray's from East St. Louis originally. Nothing's been done down there. And here they're going to make a project, and so now they're going to start. Do you believe that?
Yeah, but you know what, though, Roger? That all that is to help Cargill. And when it's all over, they're going to bypass East St. Louis one more time. So if you good people in East St. Louis think there's any development coming down there, that street's coming down there so they can come off, bypass East St. Louis, and come down into the Front Street to get to the Casino Queen and to get to those businesses down there. It's not going to help anybody in the good city of East St. Louis. You take my word on that, Roger.
You know what's encouraging? Over the weekend, I was out and about all over the county and talking to people, even former, they're Democrats. And they've had enough. They've had enough, and they're supporting our ticket. They're supporting honest, open government. And I say to all the people that are out there, the people from East St. Louis to Cahokia, to Freeburg, to Mascoutah, and throughout every community in this county, if you want less taxes, you want to bring honest, open government back to we the people, you want to try to improve areas that need help, I'm your guy. And I will do that. I will work every day, make every decision based on what's best for us, we the people, and not a party.
You know, I'm down in East St. Louis as Ray is, and one of their ploys, and the good people of East St. Louis, we've got a great listening audience in East St. Louis. It's these guys are Republicans. You good citizens of East St. Louis, take it from me, Bob Romanik. I'm crazy, but I haven't lied to you yet. We're not Democrats and Republicans. This is a movement, people. We're Democrats, Republicans, men, women, black and white. You look at that ticket. Now, we're on the Republican bus, but don't let the Democrats say, oh, they're Republicans. But I would say, even if we were and we're not, if we can bring if we can bring development, if we can bring jobs, if we can help put food on your table, help get your children a good education, decent housing, do you give a damn? Do you give a damn if we're Democrats or Republicans? Don't. Good people of East St. Louis, Allerton, Centerville, Cahokia, Washington Park, don't let these ignorant bastards, these rotten, corrupt son of a bitches in Belleville tell you got to be a Democrat. You live in the ghetto, and it's not your fault. They live in the $1 million houses and orchards and all throughout St. Clair County. They've got it because you give it to them. Let's take it back, people. Don't let them play party politics this election. It's not about a Democrat. It's not about a Republican. It's about a candidate and candidates that are going to do something for the good people of St. Clair County. Roger, I'll give you the last word.
Hey, we intend to get rid of the waste in government, reduce the tax burden of Mid-America Airport on the people, bring honest, open government back to us, create jobs, and work in the impoverished areas and throughout the county to market and sell St. Clair County and put jobs back in our county so our kids that are growing up here have opportunities. Because when you don't have an opportunity, you either get out of here or you have one choice, you're on the street, and we're going to make a difference in people's life. So I appreciate, again, I always like to once in a while, thank you, Bob, for the voice of this radio station. Without that voice, I would have no chance to reach the people that I get to on your show. So thank you once again.
You know what, Roger, and that's true, but it's our voice. I just happen to be the one giving the words, but good everybody, good people of St. Clair County. I'm just the messenger. I'm not the spokesman. I never want to be what I hate, a big shot. I want to be here an angry American. And if you guys were sitting in my spot, you'd be worse than I am, and you know it. You're sitting at home pounding your fist on the desk and saying, hey, I'd talk worse than that, and I believe you would. I'm just fortunate enough to have to be the one behind this mic. And I want to thank all the listeners all throughout this listening area. It's not about me, people. It's about the movement. It's about the movement, the patriotic movement. Let's get rid of politics. Let's get rid of politics in these positions and put patriots.
Could I have one more word? I'd like to reach out to somebody said over the weekend, Roger, what can I do? What can we do to help? Each and every one of your listeners out there, tell your family members, your friends, how important this election. This is our chance to bring honest, open government back and improve all our lives. Do that. If you do that, we win.
Couldn't have said any better. And also, the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition headquarters at 6000 West Main. Come by, pick up bumper stickers, pick up signs, get involved, help out in this election, people. It's a cause. It's a cause for better government. It's a movement for better government. It's a movement to make America great again. That's not a Trump slogan. That's a slogan all throughout this country because every man, woman, black, white, Democrat, and Republican wants to make America great again. Mr. Ray Coleman, political consultant for Washington Park, great athlete. And one more time, Ray, it's going to be Saturday, and what's going on? It's Clyde C. Jordan Memorial Stadium.
Right. It's the Gateway Scholars Classic. They're calling it the Border Wars. 3 great high schools from East St. Louis. Not East St. Louis, but on the East St. Louis, the east side of the river. You've got on September 3rd, Clyde Jordan Stadium. Tickets $10. You can go in and out all day. First game, it's at 1 p.m. Cahokia versus St. Louis Sumner. 4 o'clock, Altoff versus Jefferson City. Helios, and the finale, 7 p.m., East St. Louis versus CBC, honoring the great legendary coach Bob Shannon.
We'll be out there Saturday. I know they've got people tailgate. For you people who've never been there, bring your campers. You can tailgate at the north end of the Parsons Field. I'm sorry, not Parsons, Clyde C. Jordan, Parsons, the old stadium. So everybody, all the alumni from Eastside, get your butts out there. Let's have a good time. Let's support our alma mater. Altoff will be there, the great school, the Altoff Crusaders, and the Cahokia Comanches will be there. So let's get out there and support our local football teams. Let's get out and support our public servants, people. Let's get rid of these politicians. It's getting close to the end. And if we don't run these asswipe, politically corrupt son of a bitches out of St. Clair County, it will be the end. But it'll be the end for all of us. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of Radio, and you've been listening to The all-new KQQZ, 1190 AM. Simulcasting on KZQZ, 1430 AM. Insane broadcasting at its finest. America's bi-state voice of freedom. Radical Radio, and we are, as always, very proud to be the Patriot. Come on back tomorrow. You know what we're going to do. We're going to beat the hell. We're going to expose these rotten, political, parasitical, perverted punks that we call politicians. We're going to fight this year, people. Men, women, black, white, Democrats, Republicans, independents. We're tired of this party politics. We're tired of being screwed, blued, and tattooed. And I mean tattooed by they take and put a stupid banner on our foreheads because they think we're stupid. The good people of St. Clair County, the good people of the state of Illinois, the good people of this country are not stupid. We've been complacent. We've been apathetic, but we're coming out of our shells, people. November the 8th. Get your asses out there and vote. Don't give a damn you vote for me. Vote for them, but just get off your asses and vote, because your vote will count. But if you want better government, it's time to make a change all throughout this country, and we can do it. So let's continue to unite together as one. And let's also continue to expose these no-good son of a bitch and low-life, bottom-feeding son of a bitch and bastards that we call politicians. And when it's all said and done, and it's coming up soon, November the 8th, 2016, let's do what we have to do to save our families, to save our country, to save the future of our next generation. Let's destroy these politically corrupt, inept, rotten bastards. Destroy them politically, of course, right here on the dark side.
They're coming to take me away, ha-ha. They're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, ha-ha, to the funny farm where